Alright, let's dive into this, because it's a story that's got the hockey world buzzing, and for good reason. So, Auston Matthews, one of the NHL's biggest stars, is out for the rest of the season after a brutal hit from Radko Gudas. And now, Matthews' agent is absolutely livid about the league's response. But here's the thing, this isn't just about one play or one suspension. It's about a much bigger issue in the NHL, and personally, I think it's a conversation we need to have. First off, let's talk about the hit itself. Gudas comes out of the corner, extends his leg, and takes out Matthews' knee. The result? A grade 3 MCL tear and a quad contusion. Season-ending injury. Now, Gudas gets a 5-game suspension. 5 games. And Matthews' agent calls it laughable and preposterous. Honestly, I can't say I disagree. What makes this really interesting is the disconnect between the severity of the injury and the punishment. 5 games feels like a slap on the wrist, especially when you consider the impact on Matthews and the Leafs. In my opinion, this isn't just about justice for one player. It's about setting a precedent for player safety. If you take a step back and think about it, the NHL has a history of inconsistent discipline, and this feels like just another chapter in that story. Now, let's talk about Gudas' track record. This is his 5th suspension in 14 years, and he's forfeited over $850,000 in salary. That's a pattern, right? But here's where it gets tricky. Gudas is known as a physical player, some might say he plays on the edge. But where do we draw the line between physicality and recklessness? Personally, I think the league needs to be clearer about that. A detail I find fascinating is that Gudas didn't even get an in-person hearing for this hit. That's usually reserved for more severe cases, but Matthews' agent argues it should have happened here. And honestly, I see his point. If the league wants to take player safety seriously, they need to show it not just in words, but in actions. What this really suggests is that there's a deeper issue with how the NHL handles discipline. Matthews' agent even went as far as to say the player safety department should be suspended. That's a bold statement, but it highlights how frustrated people are. What many people don't realize is that these decisions impact more than just the players involved. They shape the culture of the game. If players feel like dangerous hits aren't being punished harshly enough, what does that say about the league's priorities? From my perspective, it's a question of balance. How do you maintain the physicality that makes hockey unique while also protecting players from career-altering injuries? One thing that immediately stands out is how this connects to broader trends in sports. Look at the NFL, for example. They've made significant changes to protect quarterbacks and reduce head injuries. The NHL could learn a thing or two from that. But here's the kicker. Hockey is a fast, physical game, and part of its appeal is that edge-of-your-seat intensity. So, how do you preserve that while also ensuring player safety? It's a tough question, and I don't have all the answers. But what I do know is that the NHL needs to take a hard look at its disciplinary process. Because right now, it's not just Matthews' agent who's losing confidence. It's fans, players, and anyone who cares about the future of the game. So, here's my closing thought. This isn't just about one hit or one suspension. It's about the kind of league the NHL wants to be. Do they want to be known for protecting their stars and prioritizing safety? Or do they want to stick with a system that feels inconsistent at best and reckless at worst? Personally, I think the choice is clear. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Because this is a conversation that's far from over.